Good evening, everyone. This is Master Coach A coming in live from Decaf Coffee Republic, the home of certified life coaches here in the Philippines, soon to be global. Good evening, coaches. All right, this is the home of certified life coaches, and we are still located at the second floor of Pioneer Street Market, also known as PSM. We are located inside HMR parking compound along Reliance Street from the city of Mandaluyong, and we will still be in full operations until November 30 in this place. Okay, by December, we will still be in operation, but by appointment and by events and invitations only. By January, we are moving to our new home in Pioneer Center, okay, along Pioneer Street. Okay, ilang tumbling lang po. This is gonna be across Bayanihan, if you're familiar with it. So yung mga kababayan, kapatid at kaibigan natin dyan sa Unilife, isang tumbling na lang po kayo. So we're moving there by January. So you will still be able to catch us here at DCAP, here at Pioneer Street Market, PSM, until the end of December. You're joining me for Coaching for the Soul. This is Strengthening Thursday. And every Thursday, we talk about you. We talk about what fuels you. We talk about what inspires you. We talk about what strengthens you. We talk about the inner core, the inner person, the inner you. So tonight, we're diving into, okay, many of you would say, you practice mindfulness. Dito yung pag nagpa-practice ka ng mindfulness, pakiramdam mo, ang galing mo. Tama yung ginagawa mo. Matalino ka. Hindi naman matalino, pero sabi nila pag mindfulness ka is you are very intentional with the things that you are achieving in life. Tama po ba? And a lot of people go through the process of meditation. There's a lot of activities that you do for you to get to a state of mindfulness. Alright? But tonight, we're moving from mindfulness to heartfulness. And why? Why heartfulness? Maybe you're gonna be asking me, why heartfulness? Okay, here's why. Heartfulness describes a way of being mindful, okay? A way of being in mindfulness coupled with compassion and responsibility. Okay? So we're moving from just being mindful of things, okay? Adding it up with compassion and responsibility to humanity, then you're moving from mindfulness to heartfulness. Mindfulness is all about you. And I'm not getting, okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're selfish. But when you talk about mindfulness, you talk about you. You talk about how you are in the flow. How are you moving in harmony with the whole universe, with the whole world. But when you talk about heartfulness, you talk about you, okay, being mindful of yourself, being mindful of what you need, being mindful of the environment, being mindful of the universe, but at the same time, with compassion to humanity, with compassion to the people around you, and with that heart to be responsible for what you need to change until you're still breathing on earth. So, we're moving from mindfulness to heartfulness. If this is the first time you're joining me, I am Coach E. I'm a certified life coach. I help people, okay, live a life of freedom, freedom to monetize their talent, freedom to do what they want to do and make a difference, freedom to be who they want to become in this lifetime. Okay, so hindi mo kailangan mapunta doon sa dulo ng buhay mo and say, I regret because I was not able to live the life that I want. I represent the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, and I do certification class here at Decaf Coffee Republic. We are turning 2 years, and on Monday, November 25, 3 years. Okay, o nga pala. We're turning 3 years, and on Monday, we are having batch 35 to graduation, and okay, by the time we will be a tribe of 250 certified life coaches. Okay, and Sunday, okay, we're celebrating our 3rd year anniversary here at PSM, so you are all invited. Okay, we will kick off with a service by Pastor Alan, 5:30, Pastor?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay, we will start at 5 p.m. and then after the service, we will have dinner. Dinner will be served. So we are inviting all of you to come, celebrate with us the faithfulness of God in this place before we move to our new hub. Okay, by January. Saturday, I'd like to invite you to attend Leaders on Mission. If you are a leader in the organization, you are a leader in school, you are someone who are mentoring a lot of people right now, and you're thinking, can I combine coaching and mentoring. Yes, you can. And Leaders on Mission is specifically tailored fit for all the leaders in the workplace, leaders in the school, leaders in the academy, or maybe leaders at home. And you want to put in, okay, another twist, another strategy wherein you can be effective using coaching skills. So if you are free, join us on Saturday, 2 o'clock here at Teacup Coffee Republic. That's going to be Leaders on Mission. So, moving on. Tonight, okay, I want to challenge you and think of the many things, okay, that you have achieved in life, and think about it. Did you achieve it? Were you able to achieve things? Were you able to really get the things that you want because you were on the flow, in harmony, or because you took an effort, you took some hard work, and you row? So it's flow versus row, okay? You just allow yourself, okay, to find things in the harmonious flow, or you got a lot of things in life because even if it's challenging, you pursue, you continue, and you take the risk. Saan? Saan mas marami tayong nakuha? Hard work. Okay? Now, the word mindfulness itself seems inefficient. To me, insufficient to explain how mindful consciousness extends to a compassion if the heart will not be present. We can be mindful of all the things that's happening in the world, and we know there is injustice. We know that there's inequality. We know that something is not right. And if we just love the flow and we just want the harmony, what happens to the things that we need to stand for? Heartfulness portrays this expansive capability of a human being, okay, with a heart, with a passion for change, for something that never done before, for something that never tried. Humanity have seen great things happening because somebody was not satisfied for what is being offered. Agree, disagree? All right? It means literally we are mindful of the situation, but literally we feel it. We feel it. We feel the compassion, and we stand and say, I am responsible to be the change that I wanted to say and to see. Because many times we just say and talk about change, but we don't want really to see it. Because we ourselves are going to be changed in the process. So, a heartful life finds meaning in making a difference in other people's lives. Do you want to be mindful or you want to be heartful? Heartful, okay? There are 8 ways that you can cultivate heartfulness. Ready? Okay. Let's start with a beginner's mind. Okay, who among you here have started something and you knew you were a beginner? You were a beginner. Can you remember the feelings? Yes. Can you walk back? Okay, talk to me. How was it? Like you start a talent, you start a skill, maybe you start coaching, and you know you are a beginner. What was the posture of the heart? How do you feel? Come on now. Anong meron? Sponge? What enables you to be a sponge? What enables your mind to be like a sponge? Because you recognize the emptiness. You recognize the void. And when you recognize the void, you recognize the emptiness, you are open to anything and everything. When you talk about the beginner's mindset, you talk about the unlimited possibilities to learn. Which is contrasted if you want the expert's mind. When you say, I have the expert mind, what happened? I don't want to learn. I knew that. Expert mind say, oh, that will not work. Expert mind will say, I've tried it, been there, done that. Or maybe you say, this is another routine. I don't want to do it. All right? So a beginner's mind and an expert mind. A beginner's mind is a mind of compassion. Why? Because your heart beats for the reality of the space that you occupy. When our mind is compassionate, possibilities boundless. Isn't it? We can always be true to ourselves when there is compassion. We can always see there are opportunities for growth if we feel the compassion. And what brings us to take action is the heart that says, I am responsible for someone else's life. If you will be just responsible for your life and be mindful for your own life, you will just allow things to flow, especially when you're comfortable. But how many people you met in your life that they're supposed to be comfortable, but they continue to fight for change. They continue to initiate new things. They continue to move into innovation. They continue to try. They continue to rest. Why? Because of the heart full of compassion and the heart that says, I am responsible for someone else's life. Parents, where are the parents in the house? Okay. Do you stop perfecting your skills, your knowledge, your heart of being a parent? Do you say that I'm the best parent? I don't want to learn. Do we do that? No. Parents, we look at our children. We see what needs to improve, what can still be improved. How can they still be better? And we still continue to fight for it because we feel the sense of responsibility. But if you just be mindful, you just say, all right, I provide food. Everything is harmony. They're growing well. They're healthy. Okay, we have the insurance. We have all of these things. Everything is in flow, and we're good. So you're not going to trigger the change. But how many people have you seen, especially parents, when you say, I've been an expert parent? Pinagdaanan ko na yan. Papunta ka pa lang. Pabalik na ako. Sounds familiar, hurts as much. How many people have been hurt with that state? I knew that, I've done that. At lumunok tayong lahat. 8 po ito, so maghanda tayo, may 7 pa. Let's move. Another way to cultivate. Okay, so let me just seal that again. The beginner's mind. You want to try to level up? You want to roll? Consider yourself a beginner. Consider that there's so much to learn, unlearn, and relearn. When you accept in your heart that every thought is worth considering, then you open yourself to possibilities that the best is yet to come. But the moment you say, I'm already the expert, then you say, I have already arrived, and nothing else can make me better. That's why in life coaching we say, we're not the experts. Because by saying, recognizing that we're not the expert, we continue to explore possibilities with our clients. We continue to look for opportunities to make them level up in life. We continue to look for strategies to help them achieve the results that they want in life. Okay? Point number 2. If you want to cultivate heartfulness, vulnerability is non-negotiable. Life is a long journey. Agree, disagree? Agree. With a heavy burden. Every step of the way, be it slow, be it steady, we will always encounter a moment where we stumble in life. We pursue things. We persuade ourselves to achieve things. And yet, countless of times, we encounter troubles. Agree, disagree? Agree. We might be doing what we can, trying our best, but we can still feel the despair. We can still feel the discontentment in our heart. And yet, okay, we can find that while we are discontented, that is also the moment that we want to conquer things. But why do you think many people who wants to conquer things, who want to take a risk, who wants to try, cannot move an inch? Because they don't want to be vulnerable to the reality that there are things in their lives that are not working. That's where vulnerability hits you. Have you heard of the duck syndrome? Duck. You know the duck? Quack, quack. Ganun ba yun? Duck syndrome. Have you heard of the duck syndrome? Have you seen a duck?
Eat one.
Huh? Eat one. Okay. Picture a duck. Isn't it a duck would always on the surface glide smoothly? Come on.
Yeah.
But what's underneath of that? What? They paddle so strongly. Right? Many of us suffer from duck syndrome. Because we allow ourselves to appear flow, gliding. Yet, bottom line, you're striving, you're struggling, and you don't want to be vulnerable for others to see. So you allow yourself to be stuck in the mud. That's the duck syndrome. Well, it's a beautiful, sabi ko sa beautiful concept. Anong maganda doon? But it's something that you may want to look into. Alright? Many of us live a life with a full armored duck syndrome. That's just flow, glide. But underneath, we struggle to the maximum capacity. Connecting, take a breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Alright, next. On my number 3, authenticity. Ay. Now, hear these words. If I didn't define it for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me, and I will be eaten alive. This is one of the quotes I got. Sabi niya, if I didn't define myself for myself, then I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. What does it mean? Most of the time, we define ourselves the way other people define us. We allow ourselves to be eaten alive. And we even allow ourselves to be product of other people's fantasies and dreams. Because we are lured to that, you complete me. Have you heard of that? You complete me. Alright? But really, what is it being authentic? Steve Jobs have influenced many students. You know Steve Jobs, I suppose? You do? In 2005, he delivered one of the most popular commencement speeches in Stanford University, the history of Stanford. 5 years later, he died. Can you remember that speech? What was the speech all about?
About his journey.
Huh? Connecting the dots, what was it? He said, find what you love what you do. You've got to find what you love. And that is true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill the large part of your life. Remember this. He said, your work is going to fill the large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. But interesting, all right? Hold it a bit. If you haven't found it yet, said keep looking. Keep looking. And here's where the big thing comes in. He said, don't settle. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you know when you find it, and like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years go on. So keep looking, don't settle. That's what about authenticity. Authenticity speaks of your posture and say, I am yet to find it. I haven't found it and I'm still looking for it. Because many of us lives alive and say, I'm good, I'm well, I'm satisfied, I'm contented, everything, da-da-da-da. Are you being authentic? Are you being true to yourself? Coach Joy, yan. Sabi ni Coach Joy, hello. Okay, and fellow coaches. God have given us gifts. God have given us talents. And would you agree with me that until you do what you love to do, you do what your talent is allowing you to do, your heart continue to search for something. Sino dito may talent ka? Wala kang talent? Panoorin po ninyo yung talk ko noong Tuesday. Ang daming talent. Di ba? Creative problem solving, storytelling. Okay, ano ba yon? Crystallize? Oh, fluid? Oh, mga ganon. Okay? Shut out, Tuesday talk. What does it mean? Being authentic is you saying, I am yet to find what allows my hearts to see. That I am yet to settle. Many times we refuse to be authentic and we are putting this face and say, I am successful, I am okay, I got everything in control. It's okay, but can you be authentically true to yourself and say, my heart is yet to find its rest. My heart is yet to settle. My heart is yet to say, I made it. Because truth of the matter, what you're looking for is that huge space in your heart that only you can feel. Not the person next to you, not your spouse, not your children. Only you can feel that large part because that is your calling, because that is your gift, because that is your design from the Creator. Connecting? Great. Because the next part would be connectedness. Okay. How many of you here have seen a white man? White man, Americans, white Americans, black Americans. Have you heard of the story where there was a moment in time in history where the black and the white never goes together, right? Okay. How do you think they can be connected since they stay in the same place? I want to use that example so you understand what connectedness means. Many times you use that word. You say, we are connected. Tama ba? I am connected with you. I am connected with your spouse. I am connected with you. But I want you to understand, what does it mean to say you are in a state of connectedness? Think of a black man and a white man. How do you think connection will begin? Come on now. I got this in one of the cartoon character art, and it says, there's a black and a white man, they're talking, and the white man wants to approach the black man. And of course, the white man asks, friend, how can I be connected with you? Obviously, our colors does not connect, right? But we got to be in this space. Right? It was a caricature, right? And here's the answer. Interesting. It was beautiful. You know what was the answer? 2 things you do. May 2 things. He said, first thing you do is forget that I am a black person. Second you do, you should never forget that I am black. What does it mean? The first thing you do if you want to talk about connectedness is to take down, to strip off all your biases and judgment in life. Black, white, colored, multiple colors. Okay? Forget about it. Connect. But the second step is forget not that that person is a unique individual that you need to respect, that you need to love, you need to embrace, and that person makes your life beautiful if and only if you can accept that person. T.S. Eliot said, we shall not cease from exploration because at the end of all our exploration, we will all arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Meaning, where you are today is your beginning, and you will continue to explore only to find yourself back to the same old place with the new appreciation. So you forget what is your hindrance. And the next thing is to remember that there is uniqueness in every person, in every space, in your space today. Only then can you say, I am connected to the individuals in my space. How many times you run away from relationships? You run away from work. You run away from your family. You run away from friendship. You run away from responsibilities because you say, I cannot connect. Can you not connect, or you refuse to connect because you cannot close your eyes to the reality that there are differences between you and the other person? You cannot connect with differences if you cannot accept first that there is differences. That is connectedness. Are you still there?
Yes.
Next is something that is all of us is so familiar. All life coaches in the house knows this. We call it listening. The most precious gift we can offer to others is always our presence. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. Am I correct? Yes. But the miracle is, if we can walk on waters with them. The miracle is, if we can walk even if it's stormy. The miracle is, if we can stay with the person even when things are not comfortable. Listening have its way of allowing us to experience the beauty and wonders of life. And countless of times we refuse to listen because we don't want to listen, we don't want to hear what is not suiting to our ears. We humans find it hard to move, no matter how good the advice, the counsel, the coaching that we receive. Because truth of the matter, we refuse to receive what we can listen to. The battle for power, control, allows us to put our defenses. And in the end, we enclose ourselves in our own prison cells where we forget that to heal is to allow other people to speak truth into our lives. How many people are wounded? You too, maybe. But you don't want people to speak truth to your life. You don't want people to speak love. You don't want people to speak truth because it hurts. And because you refuse, then you refuse your very own healing. That comes from simple as listening. The power of listening. It will allow you to heal. Because when you truly listen, even the things that you cannot forgive, you can forgive. Even the things that you cannot understand, you will start to understand. Even the things that hurts the most, you will be able to embrace. You see the power of being heartful, not only mindful. You become mindful, you run away from people who are toxic and you consider as trash. If you are mindful of a situation that is no longer conducive, no longer comfortable to you, you run away and you shut down people from your life. Because you are mindful that these people does not serve you a purpose. But if you are heartful, your heart will beat for compassion and your heart will say, I am responsible for these people to feel what I'm also experiencing. That's the difference. I don't know about you, but what's the point of living in a clean slate, clean space? Quiet, soothing, beautiful into your perspective when you are the only person enjoying it. You cannot shut down trash. You cannot shut down disharmony. You cannot shut down the shit of the world because you are part of that shit because you're still alive. Acceptance! Accept, nagtuturo ako kayo talaga, oh. Acceptance! Acceptance, this human being. Who are human being in the house?
Yeah. As far as we know.
The last time you checked, or human being?
We are. I sworn.
Do you realize that every day, it's almost, every day is a new arrival experience for you? A new joy,
Yes.
a new depression, a new anxiety, a new meanness, a new rejection, but also a new acceptance. Because you start being aware of who you are becoming in the process. Every day, you arrive at something as an unexpected visitor. Life don't know how you would respond. I mean, look at the person next to you. Even at this moment in time, I bet you, something happens right now, you don't know how that person will respond. Am I correct? Even your spouses, you don't know. Pag may pumutok ba dito, hahawakan niyo yung kamay mo at sabay kayong tatakbo, o kanya-kanya na tayo, takbo na!
Galit-galit na.
What do you do?
Cover me pa.
Cover me. Sometimes, we arrive at a destination as a visitor of sorrow. We arrive as a visitor violently sweeping through every person we meet. Sometimes we arrive as just a quiet and a sweet wind. But the question is, can you accept who you are? Can you accept who you are at that moment in time? Countless of times we refuse and we cannot accept the people around us because it starts with you cannot accept who you are. Your bruises, your marks, your pain, your disappointments, your hatred, all the things that you miss in life you cannot accept. So you rather run away from people who reminds you of your own failure. Acceptance is often equated with Buddhism. Tama ba? So you accept all. But you know what? There's a Christian message that we can take from the Serenity Prayer. Tama? Ano sabi? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. How can you know, how will you know the things that you can change when your first response is to shut down things that you don't like? You will never have the serenity if you cannot accept the things that you can change and the things that you cannot change. And yet, you say, I want peace. Peace comes from your ability, capacity, and willingness to accept. Tinog pa tayo. Down in my last two, gratitude. What about gratitude? When was the last time you were grateful? Come on now.
Kanina. You will burn.
The burn. You know one thing with gratitude? You cannot be grateful if you cannot have a heart that is full of humility. Gratitude and humility goes together. You can only be thankful. You can only be appreciative if your heart is humble enough to say that what comes your way is indeed a gift. Gratitude may come easily to us when we get what we want, isn't it true? But what about difficulties in life as they come our way and test us? To be positive in our mindset, in our response. How do you confront challenges in life? How do you see the things that is difficult to understand? How do you find and search for understanding for things that you cannot change? Terminal illness of various kinds. Relationship that left you wounded, broken. Can you still be grateful? People who betrayed you. People who deceived you. People who never appreciated you. Can you still be grateful for them? Can you be thankful for their lives? How can you be thankful for deceitfulness? How can you be thankful for the things that kills you in the inside? How? Because you can remember that by the grace and the power of the one true living God, you're still standing despite all these things that could have killed you. That's where the gratitude comes from. And it only emanates from your humility to submit to the sovereign God. You you cannot submit to one God, then you cannot submit to anyone. You will only submit to other people if you can submit to a spirituality, to a God who created you. Connecting? Yes. And finally, if you want to develop this heartfulness, one should go through the posture of service. Service. Human beings as we are to acknowledge that our well-being depends on others. What does it mean? Depends on people whom we care, people whom we have moral responsibility, and we take it seriously. People we love, people we want to serve. Think about it. If you think that you are not dependent on these people, what you would become? What would you become? The very reason you are kind-hearted, the very reason you're generous, the very reason that you are developing a beautiful heart is because you are serving other people. In service, you become the best version of yourself. If you want to live a heartful life, you have to make a commitment to contribute to human happiness, to human achievements, to human joy in as best as you can. At this point in time, we all stand in a moment where we have to consider that all of us is a beginner. With all due respect to all of you who are practicing meditation and you believe you are mindful of many things, I want to challenge you. In the edge of human destructions for the things that are not seen, in the edge of moments where we don't know what the digital world is creating chaos, in the edge where our heart is torn between being physically present and visually and virtually absent, or should I say vice versa? Because many times we are more present in the virtual world than our physical state. You will continue to fool yourself if you will continue to believe that humanity does not need you. You will continue to fool yourself if you will continue to believe that you have arrived at your destination. Life is meaningful if only you will allow yourself to be a meaning for someone else. Good night, everyone. This is Coach A. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.